Okay, so you ready for a deep dive into some new platformers on the Switch?
Sounds good.
Awesome. We're looking at your top 10 list for 2024, and it looks like a pretty exciting year.
I think so.
So let's get right into it. We're not going to just like list these off.
Right?
We're going to like really get into what makes these games tick
Absolutely.
and why you should be excited about them.
For sure.
So yeah, first thing that jumps out at me is we got kind of like a mix of old and new here,
Yeah.
right? We've got, like Contra, Castlevania, these like
Big names.
huge names. Like I grew up with those games.
Yeah.
But then we've also got some like newer stuff that I'm not as familiar with, like Animal Well and Crypt Custodian. So yeah, what do you think about that? Like that mix of old and new?
Well, I think it's really cool. It shows that like platformers, they're not going anywhere, They've been around forever and they keep reinventing themselves.
Yeah,
But that like core appeal, the core gameplay is still there.
totally. Like jumping and running and
Exactly.
shooting stuff sometimes.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about some specific games.
Okay.
So Contra, Operation Galuga. That's like a
classic.
classic run and gun.
Yeah.
And it looks like they're keeping that like over the top boss battle kind of thing.
Oh yeah,
Which is like a hallmark of the series.
for sure.
But then you've got something like Animal Well, which looks really different.
Totally different.
Like way more like eerie, atmospheric.
Mysterious.
Yeah, and I've seen like a couple trailers and it's giving me like,
What do you think? Lovecraftian?
kinda, yeah.
Yeah.
Like a little Lovecraftian maybe,
a little bit. Yeah.
but also like something completely different.
Yeah, I'm not sure what to make of it.
Yeah, it's hard to pin down.
But that's what's so intriguing about.
Yeah, totally. Like
Yeah.
they're not giving too much away.
Right.
So what about Crypt Custodian? I know you're a big fan of like dungeon crawlers.
Oh yeah, big time.
And this one, like,
This one looks awesome.
the pixel art is really cool.
It's like that Shovel Knight kind of vibe.
Yeah, totally.
But the mechanics are what really stand out to me. So it's not just hacking and slashing your way through dungeons.
Right.
They have this curse system
Okay.
where like you defeat an enemy
Yeah.
and they might drop a curse. And you pick it up and it can either be like a buff or a hindrance.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, you don't know what you're going to get.
Oh, so it's like a risk reward.
Yeah, totally. It adds like a whole other layer to the gameplay.
Very cool. So it's like taking that familiar dungeon crawler idea and kind of,
Flipping it on its head.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay, so now let's talk about some of these more classic titles
Right.
that are being like reimagined.
Okay.
So the Castlevania Dominus collection,
Ooh, yeah.
like for you as a longtime fan,
Huge fan.
this has got to be pretty exciting.
So exciting. I mean, this collection has some of the most iconic Castlevania games.
Yeah, like what's in it?
Okay, so you got Symphony of the Night, you've got Area of Sorrow.
Yeah.
I mean, these games, like, they defined what it meant to be a Metroidvania.
Right.
Like that blend of exploration, RPG elements,
Right.
and of course, that tight platforming action.
Absolutely. So like for someone who hasn't played those games,
This is like the perfect way to jump in.
yeah, like a crash course in Castlevania.
Sick.
Okay, so then we also have Prince of Persia, The Lost Crown.
Another classic franchise.
Yeah, another one that's like getting a modern update.
Yeah.
What do you think they've done to like revitalize it?
Well, from what I've seen, it looks like they've really leaned into that acrobatic platforming that made the original game so much fun.
Right.
But they've also added this like faster, more frenetic combat system.
Okay.
And it seems like they're drawing some inspiration from games like Hades.
Oh, interesting.
So it's like they're updating the formula,
yeah.
but they're also honoring the series' roots.
Yeah, which is important. Okay, so now let's talk about Planet of Lana.
Ooh, yes.
I mean, the visuals in this game are just,
Stunning.
yeah, absolutely stunning.
Beautiful.
But what about the gameplay? Like, does it live up to the art style?
Well, from what the developers have said, it seems like it's less about combat
Okay.
and more about atmosphere, puzzle solving, and story.
Interesting.
So it's like a cinematic platformer
Okay.
where your journey through this alien world,
Yeah.
it unfolds alongside this captivating narrative.
That's cool. Yeah, it definitely feels like a different vibe than some of the other games on the list.
Exactly. And that's what makes this selection so exciting,
Yeah.
There's something for everyone.
Totally.
So I've got Freedom Planet 2, which is a sequel to the
Oh, yeah.
critically acclaimed original.
Yeah.
Think like fast-paced, combo-heavy combat,
Okay.
beautiful pixel art,
Nice.
but like cranked up to 11.
Yeah.
Then there's Shadow of the Ninja Reborn, which is a remake of
Classic NES game.
yes, known for its challenging difficulty.
Oh, yeah.
And awesome 2-player co-op.
Nice.
And finally, we have Trinity Fusion,
Okay.
which is being described as a roguelite platformer.
Okay, so for people who don't know what a roguelite is, it's basically like permadeath.
Right.
So if you die, you start over from the beginning, but with persistent upgrades that carry over
That's right.
between runs.
Exactly.
So what's interesting about Trinity Fusion is that you're jumping between 3 distinct worlds,
Right.
each with its own unique challenges and play style. So it's designed for high replayability.
Yes. Perfect for you.
I love a good challenge.
I know you do.
So yeah, I mean, talk about variety.
Right.
We've got like reimagined classics, innovative new experiences, even a roguelite thrown in there.
Exactly. It's a great time to be a platformer fan on the Switch.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
But it makes you wonder, like, why is the genre seeing this resurgence?
That's a good question.
Like, why now?
Well, I think part of it could be nostalgia, like people longing for simpler times when games were about tight controls and mastering challenging levels.
Yeah.
But I also think it speaks to the creativity we're seeing from developers. You know, they're taking these classic formulas and pushing them in new directions, blending genres, experimenting with art styles, telling compelling stories.
Yeah, this isn't just like a rehash of the past. It's like a celebration of what makes platformers so great.
Exactly.
While also like forging a path for the future of the genre.
I like that.
Yeah. So
it kind of leaves us with a thought-provoking question.
Okay.
What do these games, specifically the ones you've chosen, say about the current state of gaming?
Okay.
And maybe even your own evolving tastes as a player.
I like that. That's something to think about for sure.
Definitely.
So go explore these worlds, experiment, and see what resonates with you.
Yeah.
Maybe you'll discover something you never knew you loved.
Absolutely.
Happy gaming.